Now in this lesson we're going to talk about solar radiation modification, a form of climate geoengineering. Now I'm a little nervous to be talking about this because most climate scientists think that this is a very bad idea and shouldn't even be researched. But I think you deserve to know something about it. Now, geoengineering, engineering the planet, actually means two quite different things. One is removing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Almost certainly humans will pass 1.5 degrees, so if we get back to that level we're going to have to take carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere. There are various ways of doing this. The most common way is to plant trees, but there are many other techniques at the moment, mostly very expensive, except for planting trees. However, these are chemistry and biology and not really physics, so we're not going to talk about them. They will be absolutely essential, but they're not part of a physics course. What we are going to talk about is a second form of geoengineering, which is trying to block some of the sun's solar radiation from heating us up in the first place. This is called solar radiation modification. It's highly controversial, and many people, perhaps most climate scientists, think this is a very bad idea. So the basic idea, what I'm showing here is what's called the radiative forcing. This is the amount of extra heat coming in compared to the amount going out caused by all the various greenhouse gases. And what you can see is it's about 3 watts per square meter. And you can see some of it comes from carbon dioxide, some from methane, and some from various other chemicals. So that's what we're trying to fight. That's what global warming is. It's about an extra, at the moment, roughly 2 or 3 watts per square meter. And remember that the average amount of radiation coming in to the Earth is about 200 or 300 watts per square meter, averaged over day and night around the world. So we're talking about roughly a 1% change in the amount of in the radiation balance. So if we could reduce the amount of radiation coming in by 1%, that would cancel out global warming. Now, of course, things are a bit more complicated than that. This is the balance of how the energy flows. You get 342 watts hitting the upper atmosphere, 77 bounces off clouds, 30 reflects off the surface, 168 are absorbed. There's radiation between the surface and the atmosphere. So it's all rather complicated. But somewhere in all this huge flow of energy to and fro between the surface and the atmosphere and space, maybe we could try and cut down 3 watts. That's pretty small compared to all these numbers. So a small change like that might be enough to stop the warming effects of global warming. Now, global warming has other effects. For example, it acidifying the seas, which makes it harder for shellfish and for corals to form shells. So there are other dangers from adding huge amounts of carbon dioxide to the atmosphere, but the heating up is a major one, and maybe it's not ridiculous. I mean, 3 watts per square meter is pretty small. Can we tinker with some of these things, somehow engineer it so that we get a little bit less radiation coming in or a little bit more going out? That's what this means. And its proponents say that it's actually a very cheap method, far cheaper than rewiring the entire world's energy system and changing every car and every aircraft, every boat and every house, because that's very expensive. Maybe something like this could be a much cheaper option.